Masterpiece series introduces 3 new hybrid electrostatic loudspeakers that are the culmination of almost 40 years of engineering and speaker design. Starting with the Impression, which features an 11-inch stat panel, dual 8-inch woofers, and dual 275-watt amplifiers driving those woofers. A step up from that is the Expression, with a larger set of features including a 13-inch stat panel, dual 10-inch woofers, and dual 300-watt amplifiers. The flagship of the series is the Renaissance, which features an impressive 15-inch stat panel, dual 12-inch woofers, and dual 500-watt amplifiers. The stat panels in the Masterpiece series have grown larger. The larger a stat panel gets, the more dynamic and detailed the soundstage becomes.
The advantage of a larger ESL panel is that you have more area, more diaphragm making sound, so each part of the diaphragm has to work less to make the total output. And this gives us an effortless sound. When you turn the volume up, the speaker just gets louder and it sounds seamless and smooth.
Portions of the speaker that we're particularly proud of is the way the electronics are all developed into a chassis that integrates all the amplifiers, the DSP control, and the crossover. Instead of putting those parts throughout the cabinet, they simply attach onto the bottom very cleanly and simply. We were able to really minimize signal path length and interference and really integrate all the controls right into the back of there that are all easily accessible for bass adjustments, easy access to the binding post and inputs.
So when it comes to binding posts, we had such a great experience with using the WBT brand, using their very premium product on the Neolith, that we brought the same kind of performance both in the areas of its metallurgy, its mechanical integrity, and its ability to take the most micro bit of information and transfer it through, and allows for just the most perfect transfer of signal.
In the Masterpiece series, the top 3 models, being the Renaissance, the Expression, and the Impression, integrate a myriad of bass technologies to keep up with the stat panel.
So these products have force-forward bass technology. We're steering the bass towards the listener and away from the wall behind the speaker. And this is done by phasing the woofers in a specific way that causes cancellation of the backward going wave. Below 40 hertz, bring the woofers back in phase to give you maximum output and maximum bass.
And a side benefit for the customer is that if necessary, you can get awfully close to the rear wall if you don't want to intrude too far into the room. And we're able to bring a whole new generation of improvements technically in the crossover and with the DSP, so we can really execute the ideas of force forward at such a high level.
One of the coolest features of the Masterpiece series is the arc room correction. It allows the entire series of speakers to integrate into any environment, really get good consistent bass performance.
With an electrostatic panel, because sound is directional, you have very tight control of where that sound is coming into the room at. But with bass frequencies, sound becomes more omnidirectional, which leads to a lot of weird interaction within the room, creating peaks and valleys throughout the room.
Most homes have terrible issues based on where you place the speaker. The rooms themselves are the culprit. By using our system and specialized microphones, you're going to literally take the room out of the equation. The result is flattening the room out to an ideal bass performance every time.
These speakers also have a deep bass control, and that allows you to turn down the bass if you're in a small room and it's too much, or turn it up if you're in a big room and need to fill it. It can work nicely with ARC in that once ARC corrects for all the room response, then you can actually tailor the sound to your preference if the perfectly flat is not exactly what you're looking for.
The sum of all of these parts delivers an emotional experience greater than those parts. It essentially delivers the musical truth.
One of the exciting things about the Masterpiece series is we've brought all of our technology together. We've made some great sounding products, and I think people are just going to love them.
You know something's a masterpiece when the first time you sit down and experience it, you get lost in the moment almost instantly.
As humbly as I can say this, we feel this effort is our masterpiece, our masterwork.